Hey everyone, today I want to share a few habits that, if left unchecked, can really hold you back as a photographer or a filmmaker. I've been there myself and I know how easy it is to fall into these patterns. It's common to see others succeeding at something. You notice all these photographers doing certain things and you think maybe that's the way to improve and grow. Sometimes these habits start out as helpful. They might push you to try something new, gain more likes, followers or whatever. But after a while, they can start pulling you off course. You lose track of what you actually want to express with your work, and suddenly it feels like you're working for someone else's vision or for your audience, not for your own. What I'm discussing today is recognizing these habits before they take over. I want to help you notice when they creep in so you can cut them off, get back to why you started, and develop your work in a way that truly reflects you. So let's start. First up, trends. Trends are, well, tempting. You see a certain style, like all these moody cinematic videos, for example, and everyone's doing it. They are getting likes, shares, and followers. And following trends can really work sometimes. But here's the problem. If all your work revolves around what's popular, when do you make space for your own voice? I've been through this, staring at what's popular, only to realize I wasn't comfortable creating such content. I don't see myself making videos where I run and laugh just because someone else did it. I don't see myself mimicking gawks just because it looks cool. Every creator who shares their own work will love to be seen, but that doesn't mean you have to think like someone else to say something meaningful. I'd rather have fewer social interaction by being myself than imitate someone else without using my own voice. Here is where I tend to fall most of the time. I have to admit, there is nothing like the thrill of unpacking a new lens or a new camera, but let's be real, too much gear can actually make things harder, especially when you're starting out. One thing I keep telling myself is focus more on the story rather than just a piece of gear. Nobody really cares if you're out shooting with a specific camera or a specific lens. If what you're capturing is meaningless, what's the point? Imagine snapping a picture of a trash can with a Leica, and now imagine documenting a great story with an old camera. Even today, we look at the masters who were shooting with a simple SLRs that today are sold for $150, and they created a masterpiece with their cameras. Sometimes I find myself most inspired sticking to the basics. You know, the classic one camera, one lens. Maybe that's why cameras like the Ricoh, the X100 series or the Leica Q system are so popular. Then there is the rabbit hole of tutorial. Around 2020, I went down it hard. I was spending hours and hours binge watching YouTube videos or workshops about everything from framing to color grading, from gear reviews to shooting techniques, convinced I was learning. But there's one thing no tutorial can give you, the experience. I was so focused on studying that I wasn't going out to shoot. And here I had a sort of opposite effect. I was highly motivated by all the things I was learning, yet I found myself uninspired by what I had around me. So I was just sitting at my desk, watching videos, convincing myself it was helpful. Until one day, my wife told me, "You are not going to get any better staring at the screen." And she was right. Knowledge without practice is like studying driving without even getting into a car. Next is forcing a style. Everyone wants a unique look to their photos, something that says they can really tell I made this. We see great photographers or filmmakers with unique styles every day, dreaming of having that too. But most of the time, we ignore one crucial thing. They crafted that particular look over the years. 5, 10 years of trying over and over again. And many of them changed their vision along the way. So here's the thing, style isn't something you can force. It takes years, sometimes decades, to really find what feels like you. It's more than just a Lightroom preset, it's about the places you shoot, the thing you focus on, how you see the light, and the composition. Forcing a style is like expecting a garden to grow overnight. If you want to see it bloom, you have to plant, water, and wait. This one might be a bit controversial, and it's a delicate topic. Shooting with friends can be inspiring, of course. You find yourself surrounded by talented creators, watching them make their art, and discover a new way to see things. This is great, don't get me wrong, but if you always shoot with others, there is a risk. Sometimes, without realizing it, you start mimicking each other, or simply you get distracted and lose focus on your own vision. There is this unspoken influence, but when you're alone, you're fully in control. Being solo when you go out to shoot is the best way to find your own voice and vision. It's just you, your camera, and the world around you. I see shooting alone as a mindful practice. You have all the time to get the shoot you want and to focus on the subject you want to document. And honestly, there is a peace in it, a sort of quiet focus you don't always get in a group. Every time I went out to shoot, whether it was close to home or on a trip, I always had one problem. I was setting huge expectations for the results. For example, in May 2024, I went to Japan. It was my first time there, so I was really excited. Of course, I researched a lot about photo spots, and when I was there, I tried hard to nail the shots I had in mind. The result was that I ended up with probably one shot close to what I was hoping for. In Kyoto, I visited the Asaka Pagoda twice. The first time was during the golden hour, the worst decision of that trip. It was full of tourists like me, hoping to get some images. So I waited a few hours to snap the picture in the evening, but even though I got a good image, I wasn't satisfied. Then, a few days later, I woke up at 3 a.m., went to the pagoda again, this time to get the sunrise shot. Still, there were a few photographers, but somehow I managed to get a good shot that I was happy about that, even though the sky wasn't perfect and the light wasn't hitting the pagoda at all. So here I learned one of the most important rules so far. Do not expect anything when you go out and shoot. It's okay to plan and have some ideas of what to capture, but it's important to have an open mind once you're out there. Keep some space to approach things differently, rather than trying to replicate that iconic image you have in mind. So I had a shift that I will probably make a dedicated video about soon, which is about documenting over creating. One thing I lost my mind over is being known. Every photographer dreams of being recognized. I'd love to have a long line of clients at my door asking to work with me just because I'm great. But this mindset is dangerous. Instead of worrying about that, I prefer to focus on what I enjoy, on what I'm proud of. Over the time, I lost interest in likes, shares, or going viral with content. I rather focus on myself, and if what I create is strong enough, it will eventually speak for itself. Here is my kryptonite. I often struggle with comparing myself to others. I don't know if it's the imposter syndrome or jealousy, but it happens many times when I look at other creators and compare my work to theirs. I'm 32 and I started this photography journey 4 years ago, because I was an architect before. So it's easy to see creators who have been doing what I'm doing for much longer, or even younger folks who are more talented than I am. So comparing yourself to others can be one of the quickest ways to lose confidence. But remember, you don't see the whole story. Their journey is different, their story is different. So remember, stay in your lane and focus on your growth. The last one is tough. There are probably thousands of scientific studies that explain why our devices can become a bad habit. For us, social media is where we share our work, stay connected and get inspired. But it can easily turn into a black hole of wasted time and energy. I open Instagram, look for inspiration, find a funny video, and wake up half an hour later in front of my computer with that unedited video still waiting for me. So that's something I'm still working on. I am trying hard to reduce my screen time on social media, to only use it to reply a few messages and post some content, of course. And after that, I need to close the app. The real progress in our journey comes when we disconnect, when we focus on shooting and spending time with our work rather than just staring at a screen. So there it is. These habits may seem normal at first, but they can end up holding you back without you even noticing. It's easy to go off-road for a while, losing time on Instagram or trying to copy other creators, but you have to remember that your growth will be faster when you focus on yourself. It's a process. What initially got you into this is likely the real answer. For me, documenting the world around me is the most important aspect of what to focus on. Whatever it is for you, focus on that and let the rest fall apart. Focus on your work and what you believe means something to you. And yes, don't let all the noise distract you from your goals. Thanks for watching. As always, if any of this resonates, let me know. Let's keep each other on track. See you in the next video. Bye.